Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Minnesota Mike back with you for another video. This is another one in my vlog series that I do through the Memphis Songwriters Association in conjunction with the blog that I write for them, talking all about songwriting and what has worked for various artists over the course of a handful of years, whether those songs have been hits or not. So, in one of my last blogs, I wrote about songs with a twist at the end. In writing it, I had to distinguish between twists and natural story progressions, and therefore had to cut out a song that I had initially envisioned for that blog. It reappears in this blog about childhood nostalgia, but spoiler alert, has somewhat of an unhappy ending. But upon looking up the definition of nostalgia, it can be positive or negative. So in this particular blog, we'll look at childhood memories and songs and how they can either be happy or sad. I encourage you to revisit those memories yourselves, no matter which category they fall into, because they can lead to some fabulous songs. So, first, we're going to chat about AM Radio by Everclear. This song is about a man thinking back on his childhood and all the great memories he had from listening to AM radio throughout his formative years. He may have changed and he may have gone through some things, but the one constant in his life was music, all of which he remembers hearing on the AM radio. If it feels like I'm repeating that phrase, AM radio, a lot here, listen to the chorus of the song and you'll know why. One of my favorite parts of the song is when he talks about discovering Led Zeppelin and how he wished Jimmy Page would come to Santa Monica to teach him to play. In addition to all the music he discovered, the song also talks about his carefree youth, including the clothes he wore and the TV shows he watched, and being bummed that his parents didn't want to watch Chico and the Man. On that note, many of the songs on the parent album, the 2 AM radio, songs from an American movie, Learning How to Smile is the initial title. But anyway, we see the lead singer, Art Alexakis, coping with his parents' divorce. So many of the songs are trying to escape that through music and talk a lot about nostalgia and wishing for the old days. Melodically, I could have talked about this one in one of my previous blogs, as this song prominently samples the guitar part to Mr. Big Stuff by Gene Knight, which was written by Memphis's own Booker T. Jones. Although I'm not always a huge fan of sampling in songs, despite spending a whole blog and vlog kick on it, this one fits the nostalgia perfectly. The song is written in the key of E flat with the guitar tuned a half step down. The intro uses E, A, B, and A, the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 4. That gets played twice. The verses use the same progression, but end on B in the first verse and E in the second verse, the 5 and the 1 respectively. In the third verse, which transitions into the bridge slash outro type deal, the verse ends with C sharp minor, F sharp, and A. That gets played twice before ending on the B, which is a 6-2-4-5 pattern. The chorus uses A, B, A, E, which is a 4-5-4-1 pattern that gets played 3 times before ending on a progression of A, B, A, B, alternating between the 4 and 5 chords. The interlude before the outro uses E and E minor, the major fifth and the minor fifth, while the outro uses B, A, E, A, the 5, the 4, the 1, and the 4. That gets played twice and is followed by B, A, E, A, B, A, E, the alternation again between the 5 and the 4 chords. Structurally, this particular song uses a verse, verse, chorus, verse, verse, chorus, bridge, outro format. Each chorus has a little bit of riffing in it, like the thing about Chico and the Man, and the outro repeats the phrase, I like pop, I like soul, I like rock, but I never liked disco. What a hater. Or some iteration of that as the song fades out. As a whole, the song tells a story not only of musical evolution, but the evolution of a kid forming his own music taste. And this song came out when I was like 8 years old and kind of doing the same thing. I listened to a lot of Backstreet Boys back in the day. And Everclear was one of those kind of new discoveries of like, oh yeah, they weren't exactly new, but this song was. So that was one of those things for me that, like, oh yeah, I can get behind that. Discovering new music is always fun. But anyway, the styles may change throughout the years, but he could always come back to the music and it could all be heard on the AM radio. Having examples of that in the verses is great. And if the song were only verses, it wouldn't have made a whole lot of sense. Tying it back to the central theme of what made that all possible, the AM radio, gives that an extra kick. So AM radio is embedded below. You can listen to it by following the link, as opposed to listening on the AM radio. But I hope you got something out of that for your writing. I'm Minnesota Mike. Again, we are talking about childhood nostalgia, and this is my blog and vlog called Kidding Around. Next time, we're going to look at Basement Tapes by Semisonic. Until then, I am Minnesota Mike, and even after then, I will still be Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much for tuning in.